Today, we're honored to have with us Eric L. Lilian, retired judge of the Municipal Court of Philadelphia. Judge Lilian, I want to thank you for participating in this program to preserve the rich and wealth history of the Philadelphia Municipal Court. So, Judge, let's start at the beginning. Tell us where you were born. Tell us about where you were raised and schools you attended.
Uh, I had a rather hectic early life because I was born in Austria in 1930, and in 1938, during the Austrian Anschluss to Germany, when Hitler took over the country, uh, my family had to find a way to leave, and I was a youngster then, about 8 years old. And although I have some vivid memories, uh, the first thing I know is that we made our way to Belgium, and I stayed and lived in Belgium for a few months. I never spoke the language. I went to school there, never understood a word they said. Uh, After that, my mother and I were able to find a way to get to England. And in England, I spent several years living with a family uh, there. And again, of course, I hadn't spoken any English at that time either, so I went to school and didn't understand a word there either. But finally, I made my way to understand the English language, uh, to which I don't know how proficient I became, because when I finally landed in the United States in 1940, I was put into the fifth grade. So the first four grades, I don't know what happened to my schooling. It was all in the first three grades in Austria. After that, it was a jumble, and uh, in any event, I grew up in the United States. Went to school here, as I said, beginning in the fifth grade. Learned English and was able to become a normal person. I think. In any event, I graduated from Northeast High School in Philadelphia, and that's the old Northeast High School, the one that burned down recently. Well, within the last couple of years, anyway, on 8th and Lehigh. And after graduating there, I enrolled at Temple University, where I was in the Teachers College. Uh, I graduated from the Temple University with a Bachelor of Science degree, and became a teacher. And for about 10 years, I taught in the public schools in Philadelphia. And that was in the Cook Junior High School and also the Roosevelt Junior High School. I taught social studies and English. Why I would teach English, I don't know, but nevertheless, I guess I knew it well. I knew it better than the kids. In any event, while I was teaching, I also decided that I wished to have a career in law. And fortunately, Temple University had an evening program, and I enrolled in the Temple Night School, Temple Law School at night. I went there for 4 years, and that was pretty difficult because I was already married and had 2 children, but the law school took my evenings 4 nights a week, plus, of course, the study that was required beyond that. So I managed to get through law school, and lo and behold, I got a letter when I graduated that I had been #1 in my law school class. I don't know how that happened because of my deficiency in English, but nevertheless.
Well, that's the interesting thing, Judge. You don't learn English until much later
Fifth grade.
and then you teach English. And by the way, your English must have been good because you were the editor-in-chief of the Temple Law Quarterly.
Yes.
So I think your English was very good.
Yeah. So I was fortunate. Temple Law School gave me a scholarship for the rest of the years after my first year there. And when I graduated, I decided I would go into private practice. I first took some office space with a senator, state senator, that was those days Benjamin Donlow, who was the state senator from the 8th Ward, I believe, downtown. And I developed a general practice. I did a lot of domestic work, divorce. I did a lot of criminal work as a defense attorney. And practiced for quite some time. At the same time, I was also active in my ward. I was a committeeman in the Republican 58th Ward.
Committeeman?
I'm a committeeman there. I did a lot of, I guess, important but unimportant work. And came to the attention of those whose attention I should come to. And they decided that they would have me in their view for a judicial opening when that should arrive. Well, at that time, there was a problem in the courts, a scandal. I forget the year that this occurred, and a number of judges, unfortunately, were removed from the bench, and the governor, who was Casey in those days, nominated, I believe, 12 people to become new judges, and I was fortunate to be one of them. And that's how I got to be a judge on the Municipal Court of Philadelphia.
Okay. And tell us about your career as a judge. You've been in private practice for many years, and then
Yes,
you're on the bench.
Fortunately, I had two fortunate things. One is that because I had a very private practice, I had no difficulty in falling into the culture of what would be brought to me as a judge. And I sat in both criminal and civil courts within the municipal court. And secondly, because I had been a teacher for 10 years, it also made it a very smooth transition for me. And I felt that becoming a judge was really, for me, the best job that the good Lord could have given me. It became the best period in my life as far as my career is concerned. It was the most enjoyable period of my life. I can't say it was the most difficult period either, because I think I took to it very easily without too much strain, without too much of a problem that some early judges had.
Well, I think that's because you brought so much with you when you went on the bench, so much your background. I mean,
Probably.
your personal experiences as well as your legal career. So, but tell us about your legacy. How would you like your tenure on the Philadelphia Municipal Court to be remembered by future generations?
I would say that I would like to be remembered as a judge who did not take himself to be superior in any way to anyone who appeared in front of me. I never put on any airs or made myself look extra important. I knew I was a judge, and I tried to behave in a dignified manner, but nevertheless, I never took myself too seriously. And that, I think, is a very important thing for any judge to keep in mind, that they are blessed in being able to be given the ability to judge their fellow man, and they should not take this blessing to mean that they are in any way superior to those people. When I had a defendant, a criminal defendant in front of me, I would often be very, very careful that the prosecution could not run away with the case. And I made sure that the defendant was properly represented. of course, with the coming of the Defender Association, that became much easier because the lawyers in the Defender Association were excellent and
Right.
could be relied upon. So I tried to be fair. I was not influenced by any outside influences. I didn't take anything else into account except what was in front of me, and I called it as I saw it, which is what I would like my legacy to represent.
And I think that's a fair description of your legacy. Along the way, as you were practicing law and even after you went on the bench, did you have mentors who assisted you?
My fellow judges were very helpful, especially I could name Judge Margiotti, who was a wonderful man and a wonderful judge whose advice I often sought when I felt I needed it. Instrumental sometimes in advice. Jean Mayer was an influence in giving me advice.
Those were some good mentors.
Yes.
Do you think the practice of law has changed since when you were practicing?
Well, I would not in 100 years again go into a general practice on my own after law school. That would be futile anymore. There is no such thing for small practitioners. By small, I mean single practitioners. The practice is such that you have to hope that you're going to be graduating in a situation where you will be accepted in a larger, middle-sized firm. And I would advise any student nowadays to specialize. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but to specialize because that's the way the future is for lawyers.
What advice would you give to new judges?
Don't think that you're important. You're not. You're blessed. And take that blessing and act on it and be true to your fellow man. You are just a arbiter in finding the truth, but you are in no way above it. So just keep that humility in mind. That's the important thing.
As you think back on your judicial career, what major accomplishments or achievements come to mind for you?
I think if anybody who was ever in front of me were to say that they had had a good experience, that they were in front of a good judge, I would be satisfied. And I think that that would be the most important thing for me.
Is there anything that you would like to have as part of your oral history that I haven't asked or hasn't been covered?
No, I'm glad that I'm still here to give an oral history. And I guess I should be happy about that.
Well, we're very happy and happy that you agreed to participate in this. The history of the municipal court.
Let me also say this about the municipal court. It was in addition to being a wonderful court, it was a lot of fun because of the camaraderie that we had among the judges and the staff, and the conferences that we had, the learning that went on at those conferences, and the good times, and the camaraderie is something that I will always treasure. And, as I speak about it now, I miss it. I would like to go back and do it tomorrow. So if the governor can arrange it to reactivate my commission, I could start again. What's today? Today's Tuesday. I could start again by Friday. Just give me a couple of days to clean up.
How do you think the camaraderie and the coming together for judicial conferences and judicial education, how do you think that benefited the Municipal Court of Philadelphia?
Well, we had a wonderful, and still do, I believe, culture of learning, because twice a year we would go to a conference and stay overnight for several nights and have various people come in teaching us on new points of law or old points of law with new directions. And we were always, I think, very much up to date, and we knew very quickly if there was any deviation, any new cases that came down that changed anything in our court. We would know about it immediately, and we would learn about it. I think that's still going on today.
I believe it is, yes. So, anything that you want to tell us for your oral history that we may not have covered?
No, nothing that I can think of.
Well, it's been a wonderful, wonderful career, and I'm amazed with your background in history. I mean, to go from not learning English until the 5th grade to then be the editor-in-chief of the Temple Law Quarterly, I think says a great deal about you. And thank you so much for participating in this very worthwhile project.
You're very welcome. And just let me get my robe cleaned. It'll take a couple of days, and I'll be ready.
Well, I don't know the governor to ask him, but I do know President Judge Neifeld, and I will let her know that you're available.
Thank you.